Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased K. Espinal, and joining me through StreamYards, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the chilly tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening? Yes, indeed. I had to throw a t-shirt on because I got my AC on in October.
Yeah, it's
so warm.
It's unseasonably warm, but yeah.
Yeah, because of the fucking heat.
Yeah.
You know.
Also joining us, it is our edgelord producer, Big News Brian.
Nan toyu big news.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, we're back with another brand new episode. Very excited to get into this one. How are you guys doing this week?
Chilling, man.
Pretty solid, man.
Hell yeah. I have made massive progress in my quest to catch up to every Shonen Jump series. I caught up to Witch Watch and Ultimate. Well, I'm not exactly caught up to Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi, but I'm 3 chapters behind on it. So, I'm practically there. So that puts my tally up to, I'm literally following half of Jump up to this point, although a series literally got canceled this week. So, I guess I'm a little more than half over that line. So these are the series that we don't cover already that I'm caught up to. I am caught up to Akane Banashi, Blue Box, Ultimate Exorcist, Ichi the Witch, Witch Watch, and Harukaze Mound. So, I'm getting there.
Harukaze man.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read every series. I'm going to cycle through every series so I'm going to take 20 chapters of one series, 20 chapters of another series, and keep repeating that cycle until I'm caught up to everything. Next week, I will have a tier list of the series that I've read so far. And
So far tier list.
Yeah, and that'll be a fun little thing maybe for the pre-show. Maybe not for the main show, but I'll do a tier list of the Shonen Jump series that I've read up to this point, and maybe by next week I'll have caught up to a couple others because there's some newer ones that I could probably catch up to in a few days, like Someone Hurts and Ping Pong Peril and Ekiden Brothers. So yeah, those are the newer series. But yeah, the only long running series that I have really left to catch up to are Nue's Exorcist, The Elusive Samurai, and Me and Roboco, which I'm leaving for dead last because I know that's like literally just a children's manga that's like for kids. So, I just want to catch up to the other things first, but Witch Watch, I feel like we just like wrapped this big arc and I don't know what's going to happen next. So that should be interesting enough. Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi I've actually been enjoying a lot. It's not reinventing the wheel by any means. It's actually pretty stereotypically shonen, but it has enough flavor to be kind of like enjoyable and unique in its own way. I really recommend it. I think it's a fun little series for those of you who haven't read it yet. But it's the most shonen. It's probably the most shonen thing I've read in the current era right now. It's like kind of Black Clover level, kind of sort of shonen stuff. But yeah, that's my progress. Josh, how's yours? How's your One Piece journey going?
I am still within the raid of Onigashima. I've fallen off on sending pictures to the group chat because I was taking too many, so I'm trying to just make sure I take really, really like precious moments instead, and man, there's been a lot of precious moments in the samurai fight against Kaido with the Akazaya 9. I mean, they had the mink warriors up there too, like the cat's musketeers and the dog. fucking whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I forget their. Do you remember their squad names, Chris?
Ooh, the Musketeers and
The
Guardians.
yes, you're right. You're right, actually. Yeah, Guardians of the Forest and the Dogstorm Musketeers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they all went Sulong on the rooftop and wowed out on Jack and his army. I mean, Dogstorm and Cat Viper went. Like, they beat the... Jack didn't even fight back. And then Kaido came in and was like, I'm not going to let you kill my subordinate. And I was like, damn, Kaido, you should have let them.
Yeah.
Since when did you become... when did you get soft, bro?
Yo, he
on,
was
man.
like, I can't let you do him like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I
don't particularly care for him, but like
laugh out loud.
This is like my reputation right now.
Oh man, yeah, I think that's what it was more about, like Kaido's reputation.
Yeah,
but he Jack was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I lost, like I'm a disgrace," and he's like, "Nah, don't feel bad. They're just that strong." You know, the Sulong forms, and then they all start fighting. And it was giving it up crazy.
Yeah.
Then there's a moment where they all go two sword style.
Yeah, where they do the thing.
You remember?
Yeah.
And they all slash him and reawaken the wound.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like roared at them, and they had these air slashes come out, and they cut off one of them. Cut Kiku's arm. Yeah,
Kiku's arm.
They kept fighting. Yeah. The last thing I read was like Frankie just pulled up to where page 1 and Pepe was.
Page 1 is Pepe, is Ulti's name. It's page 1 and Ulti.
Yeah. Page 1 and Ulti, yeah. And yeah, they was fighting against Usopp and Nami. Usopp got his fucking head bashed in twice. Showed the nose shatter. That's always funny. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Pop quiz. Can you
the Oni rounds, bro? Yeah. He's like, I'm so cold. Wait, and then so there was a moment that I thought was really funny because I thought it was just Oda being Oda, and then I remembered like, oh shit. So some of the subordinates start becoming like ice Onis, that Queen's own peoples, and they're like, why Queen? Like, I'm turning into an ice Oni. Yeah, like they started like laughing, and I thought it was because they were becoming like Onis.
Yeah,
that they had like an evil laugh or something like that, and I thought that was fucking hilarious that he put that like mid sentence or whatever. But then I remembered, oh yeah,
the smile fruit.
Yeah, the laughers or whatever, the pleasures.
Yeah, the pleasures.
Yeah. So, yeah, crazy shit going down.
Pop quiz. Can you name all of the Tobiropo?
By name?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But I can try. Sasaki is the fishman.
Yes.
With the armored division. I can't name all the divisions though. I just remember.
Yeah, I'm just name the Tobiropo.
Pepe and Ulti isn't Tobiropo.
They are.
Are they?
That's two.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You're halfway through?
Cool. Madam something shit. The big spy, the big lady with the bing 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 bing.
What's her name?
I don't know, man. Shit.
I know it.
It's probably super. Whatever. I'm not gonna say it. I don't know, man. Help.
Can I say it?
Can you say the first initial?
You can bail him out one time, Brad.
All right, you got to choose when you want me to bail you
all right,
out.
all right. So there's her. So that's Tom. All right, can we just count her for now, just for the sake of me remembering?
No.
Like, all right.
I'll remember for you.
X-Drake still count technically.
X-Drake does count.
He was. Yeah.
X-Drake does count. He's the fourth.
Who's who?
Yeah.
That's your favorite character.
Who's who
of the arc? That is you and Brian.
Well, lore-wise, who's who is the most important Tobiropo?
Is he? I know it. There's someone he wants to kill. I forgot who it was.
You'll know. You'll know when you get to his fight. But now you got one last one that remains. The one you can't remember.
Aside from the lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's
so
it.
she's the only
you
one
got
left?
all of them except for one.
They haven't.
I'll give you a
That
hint.
part hasn't really came yet.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you the initials of the person, and you have to
Okay.
BM.
Black Mary. Black Mary.
Close.
Close. You're right there. You're right there.
He's gonna be
I
so
know
mad.
the first one is black.
Mm-hmm.
It's black. What did I say
You
first?
said Black Mary, which is
Maria.
yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for
No,
specifically.
that's the mom.
Oh, that's
That's
about
his mother. Yeah.
when he does it. It's to, but when all the other players
Yeah.
do it, it's for. Thank you for choosing me, Jesus.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Thank you, God, for doing this in this moment.
Yeah. All right. Is that all your catch up thing,
Yes.
Brian? I
Yes.
understand you've been
I
reading
can't
World
believe I
Trigger.
got that.
Yeah, I've been rereading World Trigger again.
The World Trigger journey.
So I think I'm only like 11 chapters in, around that range. 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. And man, Yuma is such a fucking G. Like from the moment you meet him. This dude,
Yes.
I really love how
Yeah.
unique his way of thinking is. Because like they just immediately put him in situations where you see what kind of person he is. Like when the guys come over and they're like, "Hey, you broke my leg. You gotta give me money." He's like, "Oh, word?" And he breaks their fucking leg. And he's like, "Okay, here you go. Now you can take the money." He's such a fucking badass. But one thing that I kind of realized about Kuga and Osamu's relationship is that like I keep forgetting that Kuga has a side effect. Like it doesn't come up very often nowadays in the current manga. And I'm surprised it hasn't come up at all during the whole fucking enclosed doors situation. But his side effect of like being able to tell like when somebody's lying is pretty much, I feel like, a big reason as to why he's so interested in Osamu, purely because he knows that Osamu is weak as fuck. But this dude just keeps saying the boldest shit with his whole chest every single time. Like he's the most honest man in the weakest body. Like, so I feel like that's a pretty interesting like little dynamic between the two of them. One of them is like extremely hopeful and optimistic and is always looking to help in whatever way he can, which in most cases he can't, but he still finds a way. And Kuga is literally just a fucking child soldier that fought his way to get here, and by the time he gets here, this type of shit feels like, you know, kind of fucking otherworldly. It's almost like Osamu's the alien compared to him. So I don't know. I thought that was a pretty interesting dynamic between the two of them. Like Osamu's kind of teaching him how to be a human, and as a reward for that, Kuga just kind of watches his back. So I think it's cool.
Nice.
I really like the series so far. Again.
Hell yeah. Well, with that being said, I suppose we should move on to the show proper. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Bloody Cross.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 233. It is what it is. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days, we've had the Teen Titans of the Sakamoto universe facing off against the twins from the JCC. They were to a killing high school, and one of them is this loud and rambunctious girl with a minigun, and the other one is a more reserved brother who is actually the stronger of the two. After this guy shows his stuff, the kids start to think about like, whoa, I've encountered that insane skill level before. It reminds me of, and this older brother guy literally creates visages of like the order members, like the OG ones, and they're like, whoa, this guy reminds me of an actual order member. And the older brother asked them one more time. He said, I'll ask you one more time. Tell me where Sakamoto is, and then we'll leave you alone. And the sister starts yelling at him. Is like, no way. It's our first assignment. You just want to wuss out after all this? And he's like, well, we can settle this amicably. And she's like, fuck that. Let's go ballistic. And, the older brother says that, we're not selling out our friend. And that's when the older brother gives a title drop. He's like, oh, well, it is what it is. It is. All right. I forget these characters' names, unfortunately, because I haven't seen them in a while, but I do remember them. The girl with the rifle axe thing and the spear kid roll up and try to attack the brother, but he easily like brushes them off, kicking both of them simultaneously. He kicks the other kid too, his younger sister's like, whoa, that's rude. He's like, don't be stupid. There's no friggin' etiquette to killing. The invisible guy tries to attack, but he manages to block that as well. He's like, nah, you got to erase your sounds too. And he just knocks him onto the floor. The guy in the hat is like, whoa, not only does he not break a sweat when he fights, but his heart rate doesn't even change. The other guy, the brother is like, you guys are all of you are beasts. How can you come at me with that skill level? I'm always so scared when I fight. No matter how you train, and no matter how hard you train, when you die, it's over. And they're like, well, why are you an assassin then? And before he even answers, the little sister comes in with the minigun and breaks up the conversation. She shoots at the floor at them from above, but unfortunately, she misses everybody, but she destroys the floor that she's landing on, so she falls down to the next floor, which leads into a pool. And it's unfortunate for her because she cannot swim. And it's at that point, everybody goes down to like jump the sister. And as they're about to start doing that, the brother comes in with a weapon. I don't know what this thing is called, but I've seen it before. It's just like a bludgeoning weapon of some sort. He just like floats down into the pool, and he batter swings everybody out of the pool, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And
everyone.
Yeah. And he manages to save his little sister. He's like, couldn't you tell where he was from the bubbles? And she's like, I can't open my eyes underwater. And I'm like, honestly, same. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days chapter 233?
Oh man, this was a tough candidate for like it's between this and another series, and I don't really know. I don't know. This was a really good chapter. I really like this. The older brother character, he's really chill, seems amicable. Just their goals don't seem that line, and like he said, it is what it is. I can respect that. I don't expect there to be a whole lot more depth to these two characters, So I would just take it as a pleasant surprise that there was more. So I don't think this isn't the best chapter of the week for me, but it was really good, and I want to see how this fight turns out because they are formidable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian, what were your thoughts on Sakamoto Days?
This was a fun chapter, but I will say this is the second running series at this current juncture that is running with the trope siblings where the brother is the stronger one and the sister is the slightly weaker one.
What's the other one?
So, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I don't know, just a little bit of an overused trope in the current runnings. Not a big fan of it, but I guess it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But the fights are pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, not gonna lie. I feel like it's just a little bit boring to me, but it is what it is.
It is. You just saying his catchphrase a whole lot.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Trying not to sound like a fucking Sakamoto Days hater. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I wasn't particularly interested in these two at the start, but I don't know. I guess there is something just like likable about the brother that I'm like drawing myself to a little more as we learn about him. Because he's like, chill, but not in a way where he's like, I'm not even trying. It's not like a confidence
it's not
thing.
like that.
It's that he doesn't want to be there. And like, not because he's like, oh, you guys are weak. He's just like, I don't want to fight anybody, I'm interested to see in their backstory. I think he's a cool character as well, and I'm excited to see how they keep fighting him. Somebody tells me that these guys are not going to die, and they'll probably switch over to good guy status. I feel like one of these New Order guys kind of has to. So, if it's anyone, it's going to be them, especially since they've like gone out of the way to make them particularly likable, as opposed to the cop and the wrestler guy and the lady.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see where it goes, though. I think the action in this chapter has been pretty good as well. So, I'm sure this guy's gonna go fucking nuts as the chapter goes on, as he shows more of his strength.
Yeah. I mean, that last picture was so hard. I mean, there's a lot of nice shots, like the swing, the final the final page with him just standing there.
Yeah.
When he landed in the pool.
Yeah.
At first, when he caught the dude, when he was invisible. I mean, it's just like, like, bro, I have other senses too, aside from sight.
Yeah.
I'm a serious assassin, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it didn't come off like as pretentious to me. It just seems like someone that's maybe not fully committed to what he's doing, but
he's just stuck in the
committed
life.
to accomplishing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not committed to the mission, but committed to accomplishing the task.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Me too.
Like, and I agree with you as far as I was not very interested with them when they first were shown. I thought they were going to be that annoying sibling, duo, but whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But all right, nice and simple. Those were that was Sakamoto Days. Are we ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Then let's go. Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm gonna toss this one over to Josh.
Thanks, Chris. Chapter 98. Ikuto Hagiwara, Worthless Commander. Last chapter, the hero, the Kamunabi, the protagonist of the story, figured out the key to their barrier that they use to repel the people they don't want. out of the base has been hacked essentially by a living uh, a living device,
Yeah.
via a person. That's the best way to explain it in shorthand. So they gotta eliminate that person in order to stop the barrier disruption, so that Chihiro and Samura could come in and easy money GG everybody. But they don't know who it is. They don't know who it is right
call
now.
that easy money GG.
Yeah. So yeah, they have to figure out who the person is, and we begin this week's chapter with a flashback to a much, much earlier time in this series. A time in the series where we had a lot of jokes at the expense of the characters on the first page. Half of these guys got smoked.
Yeah, it was at a time where it was a time where we thought we were gonna get a main cast.
Yeah,
That was much
did.
bigger
We
than
thought
the one we ended up getting.
Yeah.
Which is not a criticism, by the way. It was just a funny moment where we were like, "Oh, cool! I wonder what these guys probably." Oh, they're dead.
Yeah, they got smoked immediately. They had a couple cool moments in that fight, but the Cloud Gouger dude just eradicated them, and it really was just to show the power of the enchanted swords and how they're on a different level.
Yeah.
And man, he proved the point, and I'm glad we stuck with the series because it was good beyond them getting shit on. So yeah, before they get shit on though, there's they're having the group is having a meeting. I'm trying to remember the name of their set.
They didn't really have a name. I thought they were just like a unit within the
Whatever.
Kaminabi.
Yeah, this Kaminabi unit. Whatever. They're having a meeting before they go to fight the Cloud Gouger dude, and their leader. I just said his name before.
Hagiwara.
Ikuto. Yeah, Hagiwara. Yeah, Hagiwara. They're explaining his ability, how he has like this iron sand. Shout outs to the third Kazekage, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
Gar's dad, you're talking about?
No,
Yeah.
Gar's dad had gold sand.
Oh yeah. Who's the black sand? Wasn't that Am I bugging?
No, that's the new guy. That's the new guy in Boruto.
Oh, Gar's son.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
The guy who got turned into a tree.
Wasn't that Sasori's thing as well? He had like black sand or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had the Kazekage as a puppet. That's how he was able to use the black sand.
Okay.
He had one of the previous Kazekages. Well, anyway, listen, that's Naruto and Boruto. Let's keep it the Kaz before we go all the crazy.
Wait, you don't want to talk about Boruto right now?
Definitely not.
No,
Boruto.
for sure not.
Anyway, so his iron sand abilities allow he weaved the sand into all of his subordinates' clothes so that he could help them, move around much swifter, like when they're fighting and all of that. Like they'll be super lightweight. They could damn near glide through the sky. And he's gonna be they could achieve that through like the magnetism from the sand. So he's essentially going to be like assisting all of them in their movement during the fight. It was his job. He actually claimed that I'll make sure that none of you die before me. As the anti-Cloud Gouger Special Forces, your lives are my responsibility.
Hard cut to all their lives being ripped from them.
I think these are the 4 people that died for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
There are a couple who survived. The blonde-haired kid and maybe one more. But, well, I guess it was him and the blonde-haired kid that made it.
Yeah, that made it. Yeah, and it was 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And, yeah. So they got eradicated. And one of them was like his man's. And and his close friend was the one that wore the mask with the long ass nose.
Mm-hmm.
See, we knew we couldn't escape the trope. They're always important. The people,
With
the weirdos,
cool
they're either
masks.
silent or really eccentric and wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Hagawara in current time sitting in a hospital bed in the Kuminabi headquarters, and he's talking to what is described to be a manifestation of his late best friend via his iron sand contraption. It even made a mask, like through the iron sand.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's his actual mask. I think like he creates it with the sand. Whatever. So he's been super depressed like since then. How he got his whole fucking unit smoked, and we cracked a lot of jokes about that, but he's raw over it, especially because like I mentioned, one of them was his best friend since he was 5 years old. And he's like everyone believes that he's clearly like in no shape to fight because of his mental. He hasn't done shit for months, I guess, since that happened, like since the all his crew died, and he's super depressed and talking to himself. So everyone else could see the sand like moving around and shit, but all they hear is him saying words to himself, even though Hagiwara believes that his friend is talking to him through his own sand. He's real fucked up in the game. But that's in his like peak of depression, he starts hearing over the loudspeakers that the Kuminami headquarters are being invaded, and that they're specifically looking for someone. And again, that's the person who is the living barrier interference. So that guy has to be eliminated, and he just heard that. And we cut to a couple chapters ago. Last chapter where we seen this weirdo with the most receded hairline I've ever seen in my life. He had to have done this on purpose.
It is. I think it's like a samurai hairdo type thing.
Yeah, this is
on purpose.
Right?
I
hope so.
Or he knows that his hair is receding and he's playing it off. It's just like, this is on purpose. I'm doing this with
he's he's a character, and I'm still actually pretty invested in him. But right when he's about to start fighting these other Hishaku members, one of them being the dogmouth game people.
Mm-hmm.
This bald, sleepy guy. He's the trope of, this isn't that serious. It's no big deal. I'm not even trying that hard. But Hagiwara just pops out, out of nowhere, and the dude with the, fucked up hairline is like Hagiwara, you're, still like willing to fight, like you're fucked up though, and he's like, nah, I'm doing this. And right after he announces that, he gets blasted by a fucking ice attack, and then chomped by the Death Game guy. But right as he gets chomped, his iron sand pops out and eliminates the head. And we get a little bit of exposition talking about Hagiwara's current mental state. His doctor mentions that he's not in his right mind, and that he told him that he seen like basically when he was dying, like from the fight against the Cloud Gouger, he was like underwater or something like that, trapped, and he felt somebody come and help him out. But based on like the records of the fight, everybody else like was dead, or the other person could not have like been able to help him because he was maimed. So he had to have broken out himself, which led him, which is, I guess he's saying that him creating like this person in his mind, like through his powers, is like a coping mechanism from the trauma, and that it also, by chance, is key to being a super duper strong sorcerer. So his mental illusions has powered him up in a certain way, and he is in peak form for combat. Don't know what to say about that. Maybe I'll have a thought by the time we give our thoughts. But yeah, right when he goes to try to fight, he drops because he hasn't. I guess he hasn't been walking for so long. He's like his body feels so heavy. It is right. Like this, like when he drops is when he actually hears that they're searching for someone in particular that has like this like ability inside of them. I guess that it's like possible to be detected. So he uses his iron sand basically as fucking radar, spots the dude immediately, and then shoots his mental illusion homie power at the I had to get all of that correct, at the Hishaku member, and seemingly killing him, like ripping right through his fucking chest. And he says, "We've still got it, partner." And that is the end of the chapter, and I am absolutely sure Hagiwara is beyond gone. Mentally, that is. Brian, what were your thoughts?
This was actually a pretty sick chapter, honestly. This is my RGC.
It's same. It's my RGC as well. I don't know how you feel, Jar. It's okay if it's not.
I liked it, but it's not.
All right.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
This is another classic Hokuzono chapter. He just randomly takes you out of the entire story just to reintroduce or introduce a completely new story element, and then just immediately tosses it into the mix. Like the dude, I don't know, it feels like fucking free jazz story writing. I don't know how the fuck he does it. he just like has all these ingredients and he just like adds it to the pot, and he does it so well. He's so good at immediately establishing a character and what their function is and how they work. And the more that we learn about how sorcery works in this series, the more interesting it gets, because you're not really getting questions answered as to how sorcery works in this series, right? But you're getting a bunch of different examples of how versatile and how open-ended it is, that it kind of works for you for the series, that he doesn't tell you directly how sorcery works, right? That allows him to kind of play around with it and have it be more like a sandbox, which is fun. You know, you get really cool creative powers like this one where the dude literally suffered from PTSD, so it completely reshaped how he uses his sorcery now. Now it's like a different person that's operating alongside him, kind of like a stand from JoJo. And in that sense, it's kind of made him stronger, which is really, that's an interesting concept, you know? Like usually in Jump or usually in shonen stuff, like the traumatized character might turn to the dark side, or, you know, and stuff like that. But in this series, like trauma can end up empowering you and making you an even stronger ally, which is something I don't think we see very often. But man, this is, you know, very, very creative. I'm a big fan of what he did this chapter, but that's it. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. This was also my RGC.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
You know what's funny? I know that we knew always that like two people survived the battle against Soju, and I was always wondering if they were ever going to be injected back into the story. And I remember when this arc started, we did see Hagiwara walking around. Like they did establish that he is around and he was doing stuff. And I was wondering if we were ever going to get back to him, because I remember there was the panel with the iron sand with the mask on, And I was like, whoa, what's the story behind that one? You know, it was like,
When did they show that? Do you remember?
it was like at
It
the
was-
very beginning, and it was like a panel of him. It was,
And they were showing all the squads.
yeah, they
that
were showing all the
like-
squads
yeah, yeah.
involved.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
That's
was
cool.
It was cool to see it actually come back. I almost forgot about it, but yeah, it was pretty sick to reintroduce that into the story. I like how they are going about it, and I kind of hope Hagiwara sticks around because I think it's a very interesting character to have around, a guy who's literally lost his mind. And that being a buff to your powers, it makes sense in a way, because like what they're saying is, when the guy who has the Hirohiko, when he does it, it's just like, it's the idea of just like a very organic synergy with your spirit energy. And you know, a lot of people would say that, oh, you trained a lot to gain this natural synergy with it, but Hagiwara has it because he's fucking cracked right now. He's so he's not even thinking about it. He doesn't have like a conscious thought of how to wield his powers. In fact, he's pretty much mentally put it on the onus of someone else. So, you know, he's putting on the onus of someone who he has a very good rapport with. So he doesn't even have to think about it. And that's basically what they're saying, is that like you're the best at sorcery when you're not even thinking about how you use it or whatever. It's not a conscious thing. It's more like you're flowing, and he's only flowing.
natural.
Yeah, he's only flowing because he's lost his mind. So I think that's an interesting. On top of that being just kind of an entertaining character to have, is just a guy who's nuts and traumatized beyond belief. So, you know, I think this was like a MVP move. I don't know if this is gonna work in particular, because this guy is the strongest guy in the Hishaku. So, supposedly, quote unquote. But by the way, you guys called it. It was this guy.
Yeah. Well, it could mean what I said it meant, or he was just bigging him up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but you guys called it. He was the vessel, because he has the scroll in him.
I feel like there has to be a reason for why. Like, okay, so here's my theory as to why he calls him the strongest person in the Hishaku. I'm pretty sure that there's a chance that he didn't have to go under that extreme procedure that the other guy had to. I'm pretty sure this is just a natural thing that his body can do. And that's what makes him unique and powerful among the Hishaku. So,
Well, I don't know about that, because he does have the scroll in him. They were scanning his like body to see if they could find the scroll. And the only way you can get this is by, you know, that you see that little panel where he's basically performing an MRI on the entire building. And he's seeing through who has the barrier scroll in their body. And that's how he found him. And he was like immediately like, impale him.
oh, okay, my bad then.
Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, that's the thing. But part of me thinks this is kind of a misdirect. I don't think this kid's gonna be dead. I feel like there's gonna be a twist with his ability.
Yeah, you'll
or
be
something.
fine. You'll be all right.
He'll be all right. It's not every day you can see somebody get
he's-
fully
I think
impaled.
he's fine, too.
Yeah, I feel like they
I think
wouldn't
they've
say that.
already explained to us why he's fine too. Actually,
Mm.
they did it subtly in the last chapter. Not like now that I'm thinking about it.
'Cause he has less
remember how they
organs?
mentioned? Yes, because his organs are gone. Essentially,
Right.
he's being sustained off of the ability.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw this out here, but you know, there's 2 shots of this guy getting pierced. And in neither of those shots do I see a fucking mechanism or anything like that, you know, being destroyed or in pieces or on the nose. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm led to believe that it's not like just like energy. It's like a legitimate, like physical thing,
Mhm.
almost like an organ itself, right? So what I believe happened is he probably was able to move it through his body somehow when he sensed he was about to get attacked.
Yeah.
Or perhaps this was the MVP play of the fucking, you know what I mean? With a lot, I mean, there's a top 10. And if you to make the top 10 list, it's lit for like Sports Center top 10, but this might be number one.
Yeah.
Bro. This
If it
might
works,
be.
it's for sure the
Yeah.
number one MVP play of the arc.
Azami Stalin on point versus what's his name? The Yura with the score with the fucking
With the coins?
Shinuchi. Yeah.
Azami's for sure Captain America player.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. Yeah, who knows? But even if he didn't kill him on this, I still think it's a clutch move because he's been identified. So they don't have to do any guesswork. You know, it was fancy watching him get fucking pierced, but they're finding out two things. One, that it's him, and number two, it's not so simple to just kill him.
Yeah.
They have to probably just completely maim him.
Yeah, those are all good theories.
That's all my thoughts.
Yeah, I think those are all good theories. Sheesh. Yeah, this is a great chapter.
I don't think what's happening with him is healthy, by the way. I hope that he does get help.
No, I too want him to be healthy. I too want him to be healthy, but not just quite yet. I want to see where this goes.
I am intrigued.
I like this character. I think it's an interesting thing, but I hope he gets better for sure. I don't think it's going to happen right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not in this arc, but I think hopefully if he becomes like a mainstay character, if the series lasts for a semi-longer time. I know he said that it's not going to last that long, right? He said
I don't know.
series is going to be pretty short.
I have no idea.
I feel like he said that.
But yeah, I have no clue. I mean, it does feel like a short type of series, but you never know. I never take any mangaka's like estimation of how long their series is gonna last. You know, I take that with a grain of salt. You know, you never know how long it takes to tell a story.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I won't put stock one way or another. But I do want to say that I want to bring up something, and I feel like I want to bring it up now before it's like too late. Where shit starts moving too fast. We need to address the wrong Burgundy situation. What we agreed on was that at the resolution of the arc, if Samura dies, I would win. You decided that the end of that hotel situation, the end of the Samura Chihiro fight, that wasn't the end of that arc or situation, that
It's
it
not.
would continue. I don't think clearly either of us didn't know how long this arc would be. This has been a pretty expansive arc so far, as it should be, right? I mean, it's a pretty big deal. But I remember you saying that you see Samura getting a few more fights, lasting longer into the series before more things happening, like him being useful still in the series. And I don't know, man. I know not that much time in the actual series passed since you said that, even though in real life it was a pretty long time ago. But I don't know. Doesn't that kind of count? Like it has been later in the series.
No,
he didn't die off early.
No, it's just not the end of the arc. You know, part of this,
still the same arc.
part of the thing at the hotel was that like, it's not the end of the arc yet, man. It's part of it.
I thought in the three-way fight between Chihiro, Samura, and Hirohiko that Samura was going to be the one that dies. I did.
Yeah, but that wasn't the terms, you know. The terms were at the end of the arc, not at the end of the battle.
Yeah.
But you know what we can do? I respect you trying to like, you know, fall on your sword here with honor.
Only because it's really dragging, and the only string I have is the fact that, okay, right after Chihiro and Samura fight and resolve that situation, they're going directly into another fight. So it's not like there's some training arc or some, the wrap up of an arc when they're chilling.
So
they're, reconciliating.
What
and
I
I think
did,
you also thought.
what I'm doing is that I am, I looked at the wiki for the Kagurabachi wiki because there's an official wiki page for it now.
Ooh.
And I'm seeing what's listed, what's considered arcs. So the Sojo arc is its own arc. It's 18 pages. That's 18 chapters. Sorry, that's the Sojo arc. The Rakuzaichi arc was from chapter 19 to 44, and the Swordbearer assassination arc is still going. It started in chapter 45, and the newest chapter 98 is considered part of the arc.
Oh my gosh. Did you know this already, or was
I did not know this.
just
I'm looking it up.
assumed?
But I assumed because it just doesn't feel like the end of the arc.
It felt like that was a mini arc.
Theoretically, whatever's happening at the Kamunabi would still probably not be considered the end of the arc officially.
Well,
But that would be our marker for
phrasing
it. But that's our marker for our bet. Our marker for our bet was this whole situation with both the hotel and the invasion in the Kamunabi. So
yeah.
But this is still technically the same arc.
No, that's, you know what? Yeah, that is this. Okay. Yeah, I feel reassured. It's fair both ways.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fair both ways because we're not extending it way past the point. Because if the arc truly does extend past this point of the Swordbearer's assassination, because we haven't even met the other two people yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Who I'm sure is going to come in out of nowhere during this arc and save somebody. You know how that goes. But yeah, that would be OD. So yeah, I agree. I'm willing to call it off as soon as this headquarters situation resolves.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, if that's all our thoughts for Kagurabachi, I suppose we can move on, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Then let's go. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. This is Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 7, The Robbed. We have color pages, a color page this week with Rika. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name.
Are you talking about
Yuka?
Yuka?
Sorry. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, Yuka is on the cover with Cross, and we are picking up where we last left off. The old sorcerer seems to have escaped. He's like, guess the sorcerers and I will be playing a game of hide and seek for a while. And then Mr. Teacher Man pulls up behind him and he was like, don't move. And this old man is like, are you going to oh, I've been bad. Are you going to tell the teacher on me? And then this guy puts on a glove and he's like, don't move. And it turns out he is he's one of the what was that clan?
Takes off a glove.
Yeah. I guess he's part of that clan.
Inumaki's clan.
The Inumaki clan that can use cursed speech. This was kind of cool. Not gonna lie. He goes, don't
so
move.
he didn't put on a glove. He took it off.
Oh, okay. My bad. He's like, don't move. And then this guy does not move. And then he gets beat the shit out of. He gets socked in the jaw and then Spartan kicked in the face. And he's like, Mino, take care of the rest of this. Very Nanami vibes, despite the fact that he is one of the... I'm sorry, what was the name of the clan again, Ryan?
Inumaki.
Inumaki clan. So we cut back to Tsurugi, who is, who just got saved by Cross after Maru was freaking out with his unconscious with his curse technique. And he's like, get up, what the hell did you just say? Did you just call us neighbors? And he's like, yeah, Maru said it's a friend who understands why the things that matter to you are important. And he's like, that damn Maru and his big mouth. You think you could be neighbors? You do know this country's history, don't you? You've been living peacefully on a path laid out for you by a superpower ever since the war. What could you humans possibly understand about us? He's like, you don't have to constantly think about protecting our own lives. You know, things have gotten especially bad ever since the Kyoto Paranormal Treaty was established superiority among the international community. He said, even if you wanted to be neighbors, we would refuse. Tsurugi at some point passes out, actually. It seems. But yeah, he gets taken away. And he tells the teacher guy that he wants to take Maru back for his treatment. And the teacher is like, oh, shit, I don't want the Simurians to see him injured. And he's like, well, if he doesn't require treatments that only Simurians can provide, I'd like to keep him here. We'll do everything we can for him. He's like, nah, we'll be treating him ourselves. He's like, damn it, does he think we want to collect biological information? And I guess he's not really thinking about that at all. He just stands over Maru. He pulls off the bandage that he keeps on his eye, and he borrows Maru's head tie thing, and he says, "I'm gonna borrow this for a bit." And we get a flash of Mahito all of a sudden. He's like, "Damn,
Is that who that was?
yeah,
Yeah, that's my.
that's Mahito." Don't you see the patch face?
Yeah, I guess. Why are his eyes like that?
His eyes are
It's
covered by his hair.
It's shadowed under. Yeah.
Those are the stitches. Those are like the patchwork face that he has.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow.
So Mahito's like, damn, so it's not him after all. And I'm like, whoa. whoa. And Tsurugi wakes up in the hospital and he sees what seems to be Maru there. He's like, Tsurugi, are you okay? And he's like, how's Yuka? She's getting tracked out, but she seems fine. He's like, I heard Cross was here. And he's like, yeah, is he always like that? He's always so pissed. He's like, no. Knowing that this is Cross, actually. And Tsurugi apologizes to Maru for accusing him of plotting and barging on someone's turf, and that he admits that he was being closed-minded, and he's sure that the Simurians has their reasons. And he asks him, like, hey, you used your curse technique, though, and you got hurt. Did you get punished? And Cross answers, like, not yet. And that's when Yuka comes in. And she's like, well, if it isn't the MVP, I heard you were really amazing back there. He's like, so what should we do today? And Tsurugi's like, yeah, I can move just fine. But what'd the doctor say? I can't believe you ran out of stamina so fast. And Yuka says, like, I was just a little off my game. And they're like, all right, let's go. And they're like, go where? And they end up at the amusement park, and they spend a day there. Cross is not impressed by what's going on. He's like on a roller coaster with a straight face. He's like kind of eating popcorn and annoyed. He's like, damn it, damn you, Maru, you never put this on your schedule. And at that point, he runs into this kid who drops his balloon. The balloon starts to float away, but Cross catches it and gives it back to him. And the kid goes, where's mommy? And they think it's like, oh, the cliche lost child. So they spend time helping this kid find his mom. Yuka tries to cheer him up, and there's like, your mom will be back soon if you wait here. And he starts to cry, and Cross ruins it even further by going like, what's there to cry about? It's like your mom's dead. And he starts to really cry, but Cross cheers him up by doing a cool backflip and catching it. He drops his popcorn, but catches it in midair when he lands. And he seems to draw a crowd to him, and he's like, whoa, that shit's sick. Does this guy work here? Yuka does a backflip as well, feeling weirdly competitive for some reason. He's like, what the hell's her problem?
He is really unsettled by that.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? It's not a competition, bro. Uh, but yeah, that's when the mom shows up and she's like, thank you for helping my kid. The kid gives Cross his balloon as a thank you. And Yuka lets Tsurugi know that the kid's mom came back. And Cross is like Halloween. And it's like, yeah, it's a holiday with Christian roots, but it originally started by a different region. And they get to start talking about religion a little bit. And he's like, Christianity, is that the religion humans follow? And he's like, nah, I think it's around 20 to 30% of the world, though. And she explains that the Japanese are all over the place. They follow Buddhism, Confucianism, Shinto, and they've adopted other commercial holidays from other religions. And Cross asks is like, so you don't believe in a god? He's like, not me personally, but I guess a lot of people do. What about you, Cross? And Yuka reveals that she knows that it was Cross the entire time. She says like, you may be able to fool Tsurugi, but Tsurugi might not have noticed. But even if he did, I doubt he'd say anything, because he'd be mortified if he was wrong. He likes to be cool all the time. And yeah.
Yo, you know how I know? I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh yeah, go for it.
You know how I know GG is absolutely writing this series without a shadow of doubt. So in the same panel where these two dudes are talking, you see in the small text between them, he's like, you don't like kids, Mino? That's surprising. And then Mino is like, I wouldn't know the first thing to say to one. So this was to justify why all of a sudden these two were alone to talk. Like how convenient that was. You know what I mean? And now, honestly, I never would have questioned that. I don't think any of us ever would have questioned that. But Gigi wanted to make sure.
I'm not as
you never
polite.
let him get away with anything, Josh.
Yeah.
Because even I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that shit either.
I mean, I hate it and love it at the same time.
It's like
It's endearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cross explains further that the Samurians do actually believe in a god. And Yuka explains that have you heard about the story of trampling on tablets before? Sorry, I have to plug in my laptop. Have you heard the story about trampling on tablets? And they explain it's like, well, back in the day, Christianity was forbidden in Japan. And to find out who believed in it, they'd take these tablets depicting Christ on the cross, and they'd ask people to step on it, to trample on them. And whoever refused to trample on them was said to be Christian and executed. And I'm like, damn. That's crazy. And, Yuka can't wrap her head around it. It's like, well, if I were Christian, I would just step on the thing and then ask for God for forgiveness afterward. Because once you're dead, it's all over. And Cross, Yuka goes on to say is like, I could respect the fact that other cultures and religions value certain things, but sometimes it's hard to truly empathize with why they feel that way, And Cross is like, well, let's say it wasn't a tablet and a living thing. So if the tablet were alive, could you trample on it? And he's like, I guess I never thought about it that way. And he's like, you finally understand it. You and your brother are both shallow-minded. They said that humans have trampled on our way of life without even realizing it. I'm not saying those who have been stolen from have a right to steal from others. But when you're robbed, the temptation to steal in return lingers very strongly. And so you should be prepared for that. And Yuka's like, did this fucking guy just declare war on us?
Should I go tell somebody?
Is he dissing us right now? Should we? And Yuka's just like, well, I'll just pretend I didn't hear that. And she's like, well, it's perfect timing. Come with me somewhere tomorrow, and you might change your mind about that. And she, Cross is like, where? and she's like, to get my second opinion. And we go to this doctor's office and we see like a hologram of Yuka's brain, and there's something flashing in it. And boy, we I guess we can ascertain what this means. So we go on to, after the appointment, Yuka and Cross are walking home, and they're on this cool like stone bridge thing. That's kind of nice. I'd like to see that one day.
Yeah, I thought these are the places I want to visit when I go to Japan.
Yeah. And they're like, I couldn't follow what he was saying. I've never heard of this illness before. And Cross is like, so it's not cancer? I hear that's like common amongst Earthly. And she's like, no, I don't know. It's a malignant tumor. Is a malignant tumor different from cancer? The problem is it's in my brain. I figured those headaches were normal, but still, only 6 months to live is pretty harsh. Jesus Christ. Yuka is dying. She Cross is like, why did you bring me along? And Yuka's like, well, I hate going alone, and I didn't want to be pitied. Cross is like, even if you have 6 months to live, your heart just died in this moment. No matter what you do, it'll never be moved like it was before. The things that make you smile, none of it matter. You'll just think, oh, so what? I'm gonna die anyway. And from there, the endless cycle of throwing away just the precious time you have into a swirling pool of hatred, thinking, why did this happen to me? And why not him? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Cross. And, Yuka's like, is that how it is with you? Is like, yes, you've had your future stolen from you too, Yuko Hotsu. He's like, well, what will you do then, Cross? Still even more from those who have been stolen from? And Cross is pissed. He's like, don't compare yourself to us. We suffered a man-made disaster, not some illness or unfortunate accident. And she's like, yeah, but you said that I had my future stolen from me too. Maybe you lost your home, but you won't die. I'm going to die. And she's like, well, you think you're going to change my mind because you have a sad story, basically? And he's like, that's not what I mean. I mean, more like, why?
Olympics?
Yeah. She's like, well, I mean more like, why jump to conclusion? I can't change my situation, but with time, you can change yours. It's okay to be pissed about how unfair it was, and it's okay to not forget it. So tell me what happened to you and your people, because we are not your enemies. And Cross gets even more upset by this. He's like, that's idealistic nonsense. You're standing safely on the opposite shore, yet you think you really think I can accept your righteous arguments? And he actually thinks to himself, no, wait, she's not on the opposite shore anymore. But, he keeps lashing out, outwardly. And he's like, you keep going on about coexisting, but what you really mean is live here on Earth without causing any trouble, right? How long until we have to check on our behavior for Earthlings? If we have to spend years, even decades doing that shit, then I will steal. And he's like, well, how long will you steal for? Hating people and stealing from them is easy. That's why it becomes an endless cycle. So let's put an end to all of that, Cross. And that's actually where the chapter ends. Wow, this was an interesting one. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 7?
This is my favorite chapter of the week.
Yo!
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
The entire time he was covering the chapter, I was trying to think about ways to efficiently express like how I felt about this chapter, but as per usual, I'm just gonna fly off the top of my head and try to make something coherent. But that said, this was personally a very challenging chapter for me to read. Challenging in the sense of I find myself in recent years to be very stubborn in not only my philosophical views in specifically like political views, and how I think the world like society ought to be, or in the direction, like in the midst of being so like headstrong about that, I become so defensive within my own mind to like play defense against certain ideas instead of just allowing them to freely be in my mind and accept them for what they are. So to translate that to this chapter, right? I was really annoyed at first by
Yuka.
right? Yuka's position. It seemed like someone that was in she seemed like someone that was downplaying another people's struggles, watering down them to, yeah, I know you went through something, but you know, the future's the future. You got to move forward. It really, that's how it came across to me. And I thought that's what Gigi was trying to put her in as a character to represent. And then her having a tumor in her brain, we were supposed to like maybe like feel like she has some type of wisdom with that. Like she has the authority to tell him that, hey, listen, you know, your problems aren't so deep because you can move forward and you have time to, compared to someone that's about to die. And that's really, those were my first initial thoughts. And I didn't read the entire chapter again. I just read the dialogue one more time. Like instead of like reading Dandadan next, I ended up reading it when I got home. I just decided, you know what, let me just reread this and see if I'm like missing something. Let me not be so stubborn, right? And I realized that this wasn't really a conversation about direct material conditions, right? Because we don't have any details about what actually happened to this alien race. You for sure doesn't, right? And I don't really think she's trying to, you know, Yukasplain it to cross. I couldn't say mansplain, but you know, humansplain. I don't know. Like,
it's Yukasplain.
I don't think that is her point at all. I think the most profound point she said was the fact that you have time to not, you know, time as far as to make it so that these points that you have aren't definitive facts about humanity or the nature of coexistence between sentient species, or, you know, etc. That, you know, it doesn't have to remain that way. It doesn't have to be that way. That even perhaps it's not just within species natures to be, you know, at each other's throat and be, you know, suspicious. But I don't even think, you know, with Cross's point and why I felt so strong on his side to begin with, was, you know, the reality that, like, listen, like, you, like, her personally, and I like how he didn't make this a talking point about humanity in general, although you know, I'm sure he would gladly group everybody in, like on his personal feelings, but I don't think that was the point he was making. He said your people, your country in particular, the one your ass was raised in, you know, to have whatever ideals you came to the conclusion of, you did that shit in privilege and comfort of your superpower that was built on, you know, what's, in my opinion, loosely being like, you know, the suppression of lesser nations, similar to how we have in, you know, our capitalist, you know, run neoliberal society, a global society, where the, you know, the global north and mostly west take advantage of the global south, like, you know, for example. So I'm assuming it's that same power dynamic, just slightly different, you know, material conditions. And I respected that, because it's like, you know, even if you did have a point, the fact that you don't even check yourself to feel like you could even say that to me, not even really understanding what we went through. I feel that. But I think there is an important point to make where at the end of the day, what is the goal? How is it you want to maintain and live? If it is truly the case that the only way to survive and sustain is to, as they mentioned in their wording, to steal back from those that did them wrong. Well, rather, like, if you was done wrong and that's just the way life works, that it's just cutthroat, that you got to slime the next, even if that's not on an individual level, if it's on a species versus species level, right? Or different peoples versus peoples, right? And, if that's how you have to live, then so be it. I guess, yeah, you do what you got to do, right? But she's saying, and the perspective is that, like, it just doesn't have to be that way. And I don't think she's bringing up any material evidence, but she's bringing the perspective that, like, look, like, the way I see it is that there's a lot of things I wish I could probably accomplish or do or make a difference in and really prove if something really can happen or not. But whatever it is I want to do will not be able to be done after 6 months because I will be dead. And I think when you have that reality of how finite, life can be, I do think it doesn't give you a sort of authority, but you are coming from that's a valid perspective to take, and you don't have to accept it. It doesn't mean she's right, but it's valid. It's just a different way to look at it. And if you actually want to live in a better world, idealistic or not, there is the fact that, will you try to prove that? Will you fight to make that a reality and prove without a doubt that, like, that's not the case? See, me personally, like Josh, right? I don't go out to every single protest. I'm not fighting cops, like, for certain things. I try to keep myself informed. I've done, I've volunteered here and there and shit. But I think ultimately a better world is worth struggling for, regardless. I would never give in. I may retreat to my distractions or whatever, as we all do, because we all need to take a break when we're dealing with stress, because we're all just humans at the end of the day, not robots. But I do think a much better life is worth a struggle for. And it has in the same way people in the past have struggled against oppression, against fucking nature, you know what I'm saying, against animals, like our ancestors thousands of years ago. We figure out a way. I think that's what's awesome about humanity. Our material conditions are never final. We can always change. We've completely terraformed the planet. We can have the possibility of legitimately traveling the stars and all of that if we really fucking locked in.
You gotta lock in real quick.
And I'll be honest, part of that optimism kind of comes from my understanding and my philosophy personally as an atheist. And that's also why I kind of relate to Yuka in a way, because I don't really think that there's this rewarding thing after this life, this either rewarding or punishing thing, or this continued existence. I kind of think that's it, so it's kind of privileged. I don't know if privilege is the word, but it's like you have this perspective that, hey, during this life, make it worth it. And making it worth it for a lot of people is trying to make life better for themselves and the generations ahead. This is the chapter that this is the what's the word? This is a defining chapter for this series, in my opinion. And I'm actually very, very invested in Jujutsu Modelo Especial. I mean, I can't even front on the name anymore. It's Modulo.
What does Modulo mean? Let me look that up.
I don't know, bro. I thought you knew because you're, Spanish.
Okay,
So-
Modulo. Modulo is a mathematical operation that returns the remainder after a division. For example, 10 divided by 3 is 3 with a remainder of 1. So 10 modulo 3 is 1. It's a math equation.
Because it's one left over.
It's okay. It's a mathematical operation that returns the remainder after a division. 3 remainder of 1 is a modulo. And you would say that 10 modulo 3, often written as 10 parentheses mod 3 or 10% 3, is 1. The operation is used in computing for tasks like checking if a number is even or odd, x parentheses mod 2 equals 0, meaning x is even, or in a variety of practical operations like converting units of measure or creating loops that cycle through a set of items. Dog, what? Damn it, I'm so bad at math. God damn it,
I think
I'm
I'm
such
too tired and too smacked to really try to theorize what that can actually mean. So I won't. But I think I've said enough.
Okay, modulo apparently
Right.
means remainder in mathematics. So that's what it is.
Remainder.
The sequel is called Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo because of the mathematical symbol used in the title can be read as modulo. The symbol signifies equivalence, suggesting this new story will be exploring how new elements like extraterrestrials are equivalent to existing ones in the Jujutsu Kaisen world, even if they are not identical. It can also be seen as referring to what remains after the original series ended. So that's something.
What remains at? Okay.
He who remains.
That was clever.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Gege has a history of using math in Jujutsu Kaisen. So, Gojo's power is, I think, based entirely in like this quantum math.
He also did like hire a physicist.
Yeah,
to
that was
help
like
him
a
decide the whole thing at the
mathematician
end.
or a physicist.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he spoke to like a literal quantum physicist for Sukuna's final flame technique thingy.
He did
Remember
the
at
same thing
end?
for Gojo. He had like an actual I think either a mathematician or physicist develop the ability with him to make sure it made sense on a scientific level. Because as you said, he doesn't just let shit rock. He has to be able to kind of explain it somehow. But yeah, I don't know. But those are all your thoughts, right?
Yeah. Brian, what were your thoughts?
I feel like Josh got through all the complicated what is it? What's the word? Complicated
Analysis.
philosophical part of the chapter. So I feel like I don't really have much to say on that one. But I do want to talk about Mahito's appearance in this chapter.
Yeah.
So I've seen several videos that have concluded that Mahito's appearance here is in reference to his place within the afterlife. He's kind of last time we saw him, apparently he has taken off like a piece of himself and planted it in the route that all living things go through when they die. It's called the Cursed Realm. So it seems as though he's waiting there for someone, and it's implied that he's waiting for Yuji there. And since he hasn't seen Yuji, that also implies that Yuji is still alive and kicking and still moving around. So there is a chance that we will see Yuji alive and doing shit in this series.
Can I say some things, and then Chris, you could also jump in if you feel.
Yeah,
like
go
it?
for it.
Okay, Brian, you cool with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I have some issues with that. I'm gonna say it does sound it is solid. I think that makes a bunch of sense, and I'm pretty sure Itadori probably is still alive somewhere. But that doesn't connect at all with the fact that this kid kind of wakes up in reaction to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't woken up by Cross because he asked, "Are you okay?" It's like he was already in the room waiting for him to wake up, and then he just jumped up. So there's some connection to Mahito and this kid who I keep forgetting his name.
Tsurugi.
It's literally right there.
It happens to me all the time. I was like, what's this person's name? Oh, it's literally right there.
So if I don't know why he would feel Mahito going through, like, having that random thought. But who died? Who died for him to check and see who it is and then be like, oh, it's not Yuji.
Maybe he was at death's door and he saw Mahito and then he came back.
Maybe it was. I think it's Mahito reacting to Cross coming in, and because I think he's lurking within Tsurugi somehow. I think he's connected to Tsurugi one way or another. I think he harbors some like negative thoughts. Like I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that, but I think it's the reaction to it not being this kid.
I actually have kind of a theory of
Maru. And I ain't gonna lie, doesn't Maru kind of remind you of Itadori personality?
I think that's what he's referring to while it's not him after all. You know what I mean? Because he's looking for Yuji. But, you know, these guys look like Yuji. So they're like, so it's not him after all.
Who, the twins?
Yeah.
Do they? Do you think they look like Itadori?
I think so, don't they?
Oh, because of the tattoos and shit, right?
Yeah, not even that. If you even remove the tattoos and the third eye, you know, it's long hair, sure, but there's something Itadori-esque about these guys.
Does Sukuna take after Itadori? Does Itadori take after Sukuna? Maybe there's the connection. Maybe.
Yeah, they're literally family, so they just like kind of look like each other.
Yeah, right. Maybe there's a connection there. Maybe Sukuna's descendants are these alien people or some shit. I don't know. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, did you have more to say? Sorry.
No, that's it. I don't have much else.
Okay. I don't have much else to say either. I think you guys covered it pretty well, but I do have one theory as to why Mahito is slowly manifesting here. I think that the Sumerians being kind of afraid of humans is giving way to Mahito being resurrected. Like curses never really die; they just return later. Like you can exercise them and they return later. And now with like the Sumerians coming in, having this like low key fear of humans and going to war with them, especially between the twins. I think that's something, the fear of humans is remanifesting Mahito back into this world slowly. And because Tsurugi is a human and, Mahito's a human curse, there's probably like an intrinsic connection there. So that's my theory.
You know what? Not to be facetious or nothing like that, but you could argue maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the humans reawakening that with Mahito.
Yeah,
because,
it could be.
Shit was so smooth in the country for a while, and now all of a sudden aliens is around and people are starting to hear it here and there. There's like a buzz around it. Like this, and Gigi goes out of his way to let you know certain things. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of moving like Oda a little bit. I guess Oda doesn't have a fucking copyright on reoccurring story elements.
On lore.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, no copyright on lore. Although if he did, it'd be okay.
Yeah. He might as well have it. But
I feed my cat keeps
go for it. I will say that As far as the spinoff is continuing, I think it's doing pretty well. You know, it's being different, but still drawing on the old world and like in a way that, you know, makes sense and is consistent with the world. So, you know, I feel like this is a pretty successful spinoff so far. And every chapter seems to get a little better. I'm excited to see what it becomes at its peak. But yeah, those are all my thoughts about Jujutsu Kaisen. Do you all have anything else you want to mention before we move onward?
No.
All right, I'm going to assume Josh no because he went to go feed his cat. But with that being said, let's move onward. Dandadan. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Brian.
All right. So the chapter picks up where we left off with Momo and Okarun having a conversation. And she asks him what his name is. And he's kind of like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. Well, he's just like, nah, you don't want to know my real name. I'm pretty sure you're gonna hate it. And she's just trying to egg him on and try to get him to tell her. And he continues to refuse, and they kind of continue to kind of bicker back and forth until she eventually caves in and she asks, why Okarun? Like, why is that your nickname? And he thinks back to like the old Momo, where she's the one who actually gave him this nickname. And he goes, it's because he likes the occult. And she kind of like takes it in a bit, and they just sit there in silence. And Okarun starts to think to himself that even though they're so close, she still feels so far away. And all the things that they went through together are gone, and there was no way to get it back, and he just can't accept it. And as he's kind of stuck in this thought, Momo kind of breaks him out of it and asks if like what kind of occult stuff he likes, and very dryly he answers aliens.
Aliens.
Like no excitement, nothing.
Aliens.
He's just like aliens. And she's kind of like, oh, that kind. And he's like, you don't believe in them, do you? And she says it's up to the individual to decide if they believe or not, isn't it? And he goes, it's not, it's real. And she's like, show me one then. And he's like, you already seen one. Vamola is an alien. And she's kind of going, Vamola is an exchange student from India. And Okarun's like, you have an awful lot of confidence for someone with no memory. And she's like, then show me some proof. And we immediately cut to Vamola with her fucking like antenna.
Yeah, she's got antennae.
And Momo's kind of like staring at Okarun as she's talking, and she goes, my kaiju suit, it's busted right now. It's with Mr. Peony getting fixed.
Who's Mr. Peony again?
Maybe it's the boxer guy, the alien boxer.
That's Mr. Shrimp, though.
The crab, the shrimp man.
The Shrimp Man.
Let's see.
Bro, this face is making me...
It is the boxer guy.
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Mr. Peony.
But she's like,
That's a crazy name.
She's like body bumping him, and she's going, well, where's your proof, huh? Hurry up with it, come on. And then Okarun goes, after school, come to Mr. Peeny's place with me, and then you'll understand. And then Momo gets shy all of a sudden, and she goes, but this is so sudden. You want to walk with me? You want me to walk with you after school? And he gets shy, and he's just like, what? No, it didn't mean it like that. It's about the proof. And then she goes, "Is this why you came at me in such a weird way? Are you trying to use my amnesia as a means to seduce me through the occult?" And he's just like, "No, I'm not trying to seduce you. Space aliens are real." And they continue to bicker, and then we cut back to the main squad, and Christian's Lord and Savior Ginta is here.
The goat himself.
He goes, "Miss Ayase, remain calm. Please remain calm and hear me out. Before you lost your memory, you and I were And then as he was saying it, he gets fucking choked out by I forget her name. I always forget her name.
Arisa, right? I feel like I always forget it too. Ira.
Ira. Yeah. Ira proceeds to like immediately choke him. And Jin also comes in and he's like, "Momo, stay away from this man." And they continue to kind of mutter amongst each other, being being silly. And Super Smash Bros. Reference here. Quinta says, "I'm the best there is at Super Smash Bros."
No, Gigi claims to be the best.
Oh, Gigi?
Yeah, Okaru said they was all lies. Shit.
Okaru's nice with it, I bet.
Yeah, I bet.
And this is like the entirety of the occult club, and she's going, "How am I supposed to trust any of you?" And Ira says Gigi's first name, set up for later. She goes, "Enoji." N-G-O-G.
And Joji.
I forgot. And Joji. What's happening with Miss Seiko? And like we get a little brief kind of recap on what's going on with Granny. Apparently she's going to have another surgery and won't be released for 2 to 3 months. So damn, she got dog walked by the smoke guy.
Yeah.
And at this point, after the recap, Ira tries to test Momo's like connection to the spiritual, and she switches into her Acro Silky form, to which Momo can't see at all. And it is then kind of determined that she has lost her ability to sense the supernatural.
She can't see Evil Eye either.
Yeah, she can't see them at all. And as she's kind of leaving, Momo is like, "Come on, Okarun, let's go." And as Okarun's following, Ira grabs him by the arm and goes, "Hold on, you're not taking Takakura with you." Which is the first time that this version of Momo hears Takakura's name. And she kind of turns around and she goes, "Takakura?" And Ira is just like really laying it on thick. She's doing her whole fucking "this is my man" routine.
My man.
But this time it drives a ginormous wedge between Momo and Okarun. And she goes, you wouldn't tell me your name because you said I wouldn't like it, but it's just an ordinary name. Were we really even friends?" And Gigi tries to kind of jump in and try to kind of, bring up the mood. But by this point, the damage is already done. And she starts walking away by herself and goes, "So that's how it was, huh? Okay, I think I get the picture." And she walks away sadly as she thinks to herself, something is seriously bothering her. She's feeling the feeling of being left out, and it's frustrating to her. And as she's walking through the school halls, she is met with Saint Germain as he goes, "Let me hear all about your worries." And that's the end of the chapter. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I really enjoyed this chapter. Especially the beginning. Their bickering is always very funny, and it's very it's such like a true thing about like relationships. You know, you just like bust each other's balls, and it's a lot of fun when you meet someone on that level. um, and I feel like that series just like captures that. So you know, it's cool they still have this kind of connection. It's almost like she never forgot about him. They're just kind of carrying on, no matter what. They always have this kind of dynamic, which is kind of sweet. And I do like how they are kind of approaching this amnesia thing, because it's like it's working on like I guess an emotional level where you know it's tackling it in a way I haven't seen before. Amnesia is usually like a plot point to just kind of like get something by a character or something. Like if you think about like how the Big Mom thing happened, it was more of a utilitarian reason more than this. Well, but this is more of like an emotional, character driven point. And now we see at the end here with Saint Germain, it is also like on that plot level, it is just like an opening for Saint Germain. You know, I'm curious to see how he uses this. So you know, but I do think like I feel like he's doing this kind of like trope a little better than most. So you know that's been entertaining to see, and it feels like how realistically it would happen is being portrayed very well. But those are all my thoughts, really. Josh, what did you think?
Man, it was a cute chapter. It was funny. I'm so sad. I'm really sad for Momo and the gang. I really hope she regains her memories. Like, not that this is just a new Momo. She has to relearn everything. I hope that this was more so of like a reset for her abilities and for her to like, you know, for there to be like a new approach, because everybody else is starting to like gain something new as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what the purpose of her having amnesia is, you know, plot wise. Hopefully it's not so that Jermaine could take advantage of her. That would be whack. I don't want to see that arc at all.
Whack.
That would be whack. But shit, I don't really got more thoughts. It was a cute chapter. It's a slice of life chill Don.
Don. Brian, what did you think?
I'm really curious as to whether this is like truly Momo. Purely because like Ken Takakura was like, maybe it's because she didn't hear the Ken part, but Takakura was a very important figure in her life.
Yeah.
Right. Something's weird there.
Yeah, like the fact that she thinks it's an ordinary name, and the fact that she kind of, I don't know, accepts the occult, like kind of like the way that she talked about the occult in the beginning of the series is very different from the way she was talking about it now. So it kind of feels like she is kind of a different person a little bit. Like, even though like she knows that there's a feeling of something being wrong, like maybe she's missing something and like she's not truly a part of it. It might be because she isn't, and this is like a completely different person within her body.
Wow.
And that's why she feels so far away from Okarun, because even though she like her body is physically right there, her like, you know, her spirit is somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. Actually, I had a crazy moment because I thought what you were saying is perhaps they pulled her from a different universe, and that's why things aren't the same. Not that she had amnesia, but she does have that feeling, like you mentioned, of missing out on something, which leads me to believe that this is her and something happened. So never mind.
This could be like a
that'd be
different
cool.
version of Momo, but
Yeah,
it's definitely not the same one that.
But then why would she feel like she's missing out?
I feel like it's the loss of her memory is to the point where it's not even like a memory thing. It's more like pieces of her soul are gone, or there's pieces of her soul are missing. There's like gaps in her personality or just like the things that are the very core of her being that goes beyond just memory. And I think that's more what's happening more than it's a different person. It's probably just like there's just like a lot of missing information in Momo's life right now, even at things within the core of her personality. So
Yeah, but the fact that she can't like see the spiritual, like spirituality has been a part of her life since she was born. Like she was trained in this shit. So for her to kind of see that as kind of something that's absurd and out of question is
she stated she believes in ghosts still, like she remembers that her grandma's a medium.
Josh,
I think you mean.
Then why couldn't she see Ira? Then why? Yeah.
I think she believes them. She just can't see it.
Yeah, but she has been able to see it, hasn't she? Like her whole life.
Well, she doesn't remember that. I don't know. She hasn't been able to see it her whole life.
She's seen ghosts for the first time with Okarun, with the Turbo Granny.
That was like the first ghost she ran into.
Right, and then she was
Because
like, holy
as
shit,
far as she
Grandma's
knew,
real. Yeah, you're right.
Like she's always known her grandmother was a medium, but she'd never seen like a ghost with her. She just believed her grandma could really see ghosts and shit.
I see.
And that happened. No, the Turbo Granny incident happened before the Serpoians, right?
Pretty much at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, but it's important because I thought the Serpoians activating her power happened before Turbo Granny. Then it would have made sense her being able to see it. But like, I wonder why she'd never seen them all the way up until that point.
It mentioned that she's like she didn't do this a whole lot. She wasn't practicing her chi for her whole life. Remember, like she was doing this until people started making fun of her, and now Okarun's actually doing this. So,
and they went out of their way to find Turbo Granny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think there is something to what you're saying, Brian. Is that she was a different person in the sense that like she's still like very much Momo, but there's like fragments of her missing, like just, she might as well be a different person, but she still is the same person, especially since the way she gets on with Okarun. It's like she never forgot, it's that same dynamic. So that Momo's still there. It's just like there's a lot of her missing, I guess, if you were to look at it as puzzle pieces or, something like that. Or, how like in Kingdom Hearts where Sora loses his memory and he's just like getting in the recovery chamber the entire time in like Kingdom Hearts 2, just piecing together his own memories again.
Oh, I should have mentioned this in the updates, but I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 1. I got the final mix. I got the final mix HD.
Hell yeah, dude. I was thinking of playing that again.
It has basically all the Kingdom Hearts games up until 3.
Yeah, that's what I have.
But it doesn't have 3 in it.
I've been playing the 300 crabs mission on repeat.
No,
not the 300 crabs.
Is that a euphemism for League of Legends? Essentially,
no, nope.
Is the grind not that similar?
No, not at all. Actually, this one is much
in,
more mundane. I enjoy the everlasting mundane task of collecting 300 crabs.
More than your minute to minute action in League of Legends.
Yeah, that's too much excitement going on, too much emotion being evoked. I prefer to collect 300 crabs mindlessly.
Too much pushing.
Yeah, like too much like other human interaction.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are all my thoughts. I don't know. What, Brian? Did we do your thoughts?
I don't have much else to say.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, let's wrap this up then, babies. That was Dandadan, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at jdcole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it on the pre-show chat show that we do. Subscribe, like, share, all of the things that make us more popular in the algorithm. That would be super duper nice. Let us know what you guys think about the chapters in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you guys. Yeah, that's it. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Later.